Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back with another very long overdue subscriber requested video. So I was asked a long time ago, I think before I even moved, to do a video on long-lasting designer fragrances. So here we are. We are going to talk about long-lasting designer fragrances. I'm super excited because I don't think I've ever done a video like this before. But anyways, I'm gonna jump right in. I've got a bunch of perfumes. So the first one we're gonna talk about is this one here. This is Guerlain, Mon Guerlain. This is the EDP formulation. I do have the Floral formulation as well, and it is an absolute beast. All of them are beast fragrances on me. Especially I've got Mon Exclusive. That's probably the longest lasting one. That one's really intense. But just the original EDP, this is a beast of a fragrance. It performs incredibly well. It's like the perfect signature scent. It's beautiful, fresh lavender and a perfumey, sweet vanilla. Oh my gosh, it's just a perfect perfume. I forget that I have this one. Somebody sent this to me. It's been such a long time ago. And I forget that I have this one. But I absolutely love it. My liquid, or the liquid in this one, has deepened up so much from all of the vanilla. It's just such a yummy fragrance. And again, this is one that people either love it or hate it. I think more people love it than hate it, but I have heard of people that really don't like it. I just love it though. It's such a comforting, cozy fragrance. It can be worn all year round, any time of the year. The Eau de Parfum formulation might be a little bit intense, like in the really hot summer, but I've worn it in the dead heat, and I love it. I just think it's a gorgeous fragrance. So yeah, super long lasting. Sometimes you can come across this fragrance at TJ Maxx for a really good price. I think Guerlain has just gotten so, as a house, has just gotten so hyped up by the fragrance community that they've just jacked the prices up on all Guerlain fragrances. So it's a little bit harder to find a deal on a Guerlain fragrance anymore. I mean, I remember when I used to be able to find the Aqua Allegoria fragrances on FragranceNet for like 30 bucks. They used to be so inexpensive, but yeah, like I say, I think that the fragrance community as a whole has just really hyped this house up, and sadly because of that, they've jacked the prices up a ton. But anyways, it's worth the price because it's a really good performer, and you don't have to spray a ton on and it'll last you a while. So anyways, that is Mon Guerlain, the Eau de Parfum formulation. Really any formulation though. I even had the EDT at one point, and I want to say I remember that one even performing well. Okay, this next one, this is a Givenchy fragrance, and this is Amoureige from Givenchy. I love this. This is, oh my gosh, this is just my kind of fragrance. This is a beautiful kind of vintage leaning, like a 90s vintage leaning white floral. It's sweet, slightly green smelling, a little bit indolic smelling. It's heady, and I just love it. I love Amoureige. It's one of my favorite perfumes of life. I'm not quite sure when my bottle is from. I can look it up. This is like not a vintage bottle though. It's definitely, I don't know, I would say it's probably from 2010 or newer. And it's a beast. It is an absolute beast of a fragrance. In fact, this one is like nuclear. You only need to put on a few sprays and you are good. You will smell it for probably 24 hours. It's an amazing perfume, and it performs amazingly. And still, I don't know what a brand spanking new bottle of this would be like, but I have a feeling that they haven't messed with this one too much. Yeah, I feel pretty safe saying that even a brand new bottle of this would perform incredibly well. It's just an amazing fragrance. So anyways, that is Amoureige from Givenchy. Okay, next we've got this one here. This is just the original Chloe. This is the EDP formulation. Not the original Chloe, this is the new original Chloe. This is a beautiful rose fragrance. It's like it's such a classy kind of green, like a gardeny rose fragrance. It's clean. It's such a stunning fragrance. This is one of those fragrances that could definitely be a contender for a signature for me. It's a beautiful, classy, grown woman, clean, fresh, green rose, soapy. It's a little bit soapy. I love everything about this perfume. It's a monster too. This is one that you can put on, I don't know, 2 or 3 sprays and you will be good for 12 plus hours. It is a monster of a fragrance and I love everything about it. This is like my grown woman. I feel really good. In fact, I'm gonna do a video soon about fragrances that just make me feel amazing when I wear them. This is one of them. I just feel so good when I wear this fragrance. So anyways, that is Chloe. Oh, this next one, this is just, thank goodness Dior has not completely ruined this fragrance. Like they have so many fragrances. This is Dior Addict. This is the newest formulation. I do have a bottle of the 2002 formulation and they did not butcher this one. This one still smells amazing. It still performs amazingly. It's just such a good perfume. This one is, I don't think this one, I say it every time, it smells like it's got tonka bean in it, but the newest formulation doesn't. It's basically jasmine and I think some orange blossom, vanilla, and bourbon vanilla in the base. It's so, so good. I love this perfume and it's not too far off from the 2002 formulation. The 2002 formulation is a little bit, it's a little bit more complex. It's a little bit richer smelling, but it's not like a huge difference. You really can't smell this huge difference. This is one that thankfully, again, they have not completely butchered and it's an absolute beast. This is one I can spray, I don't know, put like 3 sprays on and I will be good for 12 plus hours. It is an absolute monster. It's such a good perfume. It is a little bit pricey. It's really hard to find a bottle of Addict for a, you know, like at a discounted price, but it's worth paying the slightly high price for because it's a good one. There's actually value in this, if that makes any sense. You'll actually get what you paid for with this. It's a really good perfume. So anyways, that is Dior Addict. Next we have this one here. This is Issey Miyake L'Eau d'Issey Absolu. This is, I remember the original, just the original L'Eau d'Issey, the EDT formulation, which I've got a bottle of, and it lasts really long. Oh my gosh, if you had a bottle of that back in the 90s though, that thing was nuclear. And it's not quite as nuclear as it used to be. This is the closest thing though that I've found to, as far as something that smells like Issey Miyake and performs like that 90s version of Issey Miyake. This one is gorgeous. This has a really syrupy, honeyed aspect to it. It's not quite as fresh and crisp smelling as the original. It smells very, very similar. It smells almost identical to the original L'Eau d'Issey, but again, this one has this syrupy quality to it. It's got this kind of honeyed, like this honeyed quality. It's not creamy. It's more of like, and it's not buttery. It's more of like a syrupiness. Gosh, it's amazing. If you love L'Eau d'Issey, I think you would love this version of it. It's so, so good. And this one is nuclear. You can put on a few sprays. You're good for the entire day. It lasts way, way better than the EDT formulation. And yeah, I just love it. It's such a good, good perfume. And you can find this for pretty reasonable on one of the discount sites. So anyways, that is L'Eau d'Issey, So anyways, that is Issey Miyake L'Eau d'Issey Absolu. Okay, this next one, I cannot get away from this perfume and I cannot stop talking about this fragrance. This is a fragrance from Cacharel and this is called Yes I Am. This is a perfume that I really didn't discover this until last year. I was way late to the game with this one, and which is why I'm like so obsessed with it, because it's such a fun fragrance and oh my gosh, it just smells amazing. It's such a fun, sweet, it gives me cola vibes. It's very, very long lasting too. This one you can find for like in the $20 range a lot of the time. You can find it on the Nordstrom Rack website, I think for like $19.97 for like a 1 ounce bottle. You can find this fragrance for a very good price right now. And I love it. It's such a fun, sweet, really girly, like candy-like fragrance. I absolutely adore it. It is an absolute beast. I don't like go super hard with this. I'll usually do, I don't know, 5 or 6 sprays of it or something, but it will last all day. This is one that you'll smell this for, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours at least. It's an amazing performing fragrance, especially for the price. And yeah, I just love this one so much. So anyways, that is the original Just Yes I Am from Cacharel. This next one, this one is more of like a spring summer fragrance for me, but this thing, it can be worn any time of year. It would make an amazing signature scent, and it is such a long-lasting perfume. This is called Delicate Rose from Trussardi, and this perfume, I'm telling you, this is a fragrance that I used to wear to work a lot. When I would work 10-hour days, I would be out of the house for 12 hours usually, sometimes even longer, and I would wear this fragrance a lot because you only need a few sprays of this, and this will it used to get me through 12-hour days. It's a really beautiful, light, fresh, kind of slightly citrusy. It's a tiny, tiny bit sweet, but mostly like a fresh, slightly soapy rose. Really, really beautiful. Again, you can find these, you can find this for a pretty decent price, and it's a beast of a fragrance. It lasts so, so long, and especially for being the kind of fragrance it is, it's more of like a fresh, clean rose. It's just a really, really good performing fragrance for the type of fragrance that it is. So anyways, that is Trussardi Delicate Rose. Next, we have another Chloe fragrance, and I can pretty much say that every Chloe fragrance in my collection is a beast. The Love Story fragrances last forever. The original Chloe lasts forever. Chloe Nomad, which is this one here, an absolute beast. The only Chloe that I've got in my collection that doesn't last super, super well on me is Love Chloe. Yeah, that's the only one, and it's okay. It's just not nuclear like all of the rest of them are. But yeah, Chloe Nomad, this is nuclear. This is I think this is considered a Chypre. It's really beautiful. It's got Mirabelle plum in it and oak moss in the base. I think it's got a little bit of vetiver. This one is very neutral smelling. It's very classy and grown woman. It doesn't smell too feminine. It's definitely a boss lady fragrance. Definitely a boss lady fragrance, but it's a little bit perfumey. I love it. It smells very, very expensive. This is like crisp, tailored white shirt, a beautiful pair of like, I don't know, big, baggy, feminine slacks and some beautiful pumps, red lipstick, slick back ponytail. That's what this perfume is. It's a boss lady perfume. But yeah, it's nuclear. You can spray on 2 or 3 sprays. You're gonna smell like this for 12 plus hours. It is nuclear. I love it. The Absolute formulation too, which I also have, is a little bit more like syrupy smelling than this. This one's a little bit, I don't know, this one's a little bit more dry and a little bit fresher smelling, and the Absolute is a little bit sweeter and a little bit syrupy. Both are nuclear though, and both smell amazing. So anyways, that is Chloe Nomad. This next one, this is another one that thank goodness has not been butchered. This is still, to me, exactly the way it was when it came out when I was in 6th grade in elementary school. This is Escape from Calvin Klein, and oh my gosh, back in the day, everybody wore this. And it was funny because we were like 12 and we were walking around smelling like grown ass women, for real. I love this perfume. It's a floral. It's kind of this weird, slightly aquatic 90s floral. I need to spray through because there we go. Whatever was in the nozzle didn't smell good. There's the real perfume. But yeah, it's kind of a sharp floral, slightly aquatic, sharp, kind of slightly sweet floral. Very distinct, very nostalgic smelling, very vintage smelling. I love it. It reminds me a little bit of Eternity too. They're kind of similar. They're a little bit similar. But anyways, yeah, I love this. It's an absolute beast. You can put on a few sprays of this and smell like this all day. This isn't like an old bottle, but it's not a super new bottle either. So this is another one that I'm hoping hasn't been reformulated. I really don't know because I haven't, I don't have a new bottle. Mine is probably from 2012-ish or so. So yeah, there's no telling. Hopefully it hasn't been reformulated. But anyways, that is Calvin Klein Escape. Okay, next I've got a couple of Burberry fragrances. All Burberry fragrances are nuclear. The entire My Burberry line is nuclear. I mean, really all of them are. There are a couple that have been reformulated, or actually there are a few that have been reformulated that might not perform quite as well as they did before they were reformulated. But this one here, this is Burberry Brit Rhythm. This fragrance, I don't think this one has ever been reformulated. This is one of their kind of like lighter fragrances, and this thing is still nuclear. This is kind of like a powdery, I love this perfume so much. This one is kind of like a fresh, powdery, slightly sweet lavender. It's really, really fresh. This is another really classy fragrance. This fragrance has always reminded me of a new mom. And it's funny, the deep dry down of this one actually smells a little bit similar to Lancome L'Avance Trianon. They're similar for sure. But this one just doesn't have that like really rich vanilla that the L'Avance Trianon has. But they're similar. The lavender is definitely similar. The powderiness is similar. This reminds me of a new mom. This one has always reminded me of like a sweet new baby and just being a new mom. It's a beautiful perfume. It's stunning. It's an absolute beast too. And like I said, this is one of their kind of lighter, more fresh kind of fragrances. This will last on, I mean, you can put on a few sprays. I usually do, I don't know, 4 or 5 sprays of this one, and you will smell like this for 12 plus hours. It will, like, you'll smell like this until you wash it off. It's amazing. Such a good fragrance. So that is Burberry Brit Rhythm. And then the other one is Burberry, this one, I think this is Burberry London, maybe. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed with this. This is the most beautiful, like sweet floral. Oh, I am obsessed with this fragrance. Yeah, it's just a beautiful sweet floral. It's a perfect floral. It's not too much of anything. It's not a heady floral. It's not like a white floral. It's not a purple floral. It's just this kind of slightly sweet, really pleasant, nondescript, feminine floral. I love it. I love it so much. This is a perfume that I would have never even pursued at all, but somebody sent me like a partial bottle of it, and man, did I fall in love with it. This is a good all year round. It would be a great signature. It's amazing. And this isn't nuclear. In fact, this one doesn't even perform as well as the Burberry Brit Rhythm, but it performs really, really well. You can easily get 8-10 hours out of it. It's not gonna project like a bomb, but you'll smell it all day, and everybody around you will smell it all day. It performs really, really well. It's just not nuclear, but I do love it. So that is Burberry. I think that's Burberry London Her. Okay, and then we've got a couple of Mugler fragrances. Every single Mugler fragrance that I own is nuclear. 2 or 3 sprays and you're good for 12 plus hours. They last forever. I don't know if they will anymore ever since I think L'Oreal bought them. I'm pretty sure L'Oreal bought them. And I've heard bad things already that they're not the same. Thank goodness all of my bottles are pre-L'Oreal. Thank goodness. This is Mugler Angel. This is the EDT formulation, which I adore. This is like, oh my gosh. It smells like Angel, but it's like a really light Angel. It's like a really light iced berry Angel. I love it. I don't think it's got, I can't remember. I want to say this one doesn't have the chocolate in it, but you wouldn't know. It smells just like Angel, just like the original Angel. It's just a much lighter, more wearable version. I love it. It's nuclear. 2 or 3 sprays, you're good for 12 plus hours, lasts forever. You definitely get your money's worth with a Mugler fragrance. Well, pre-L'Oreal Mugler fragrance. So that is Mugler Angel, the EDT formulation. And then the next Mugler is the original Alien. This is another one that this is nuclear. This is 2 or 3 sprays and like your perfume is going to project for 12 hours. It's amazing. It is an absolute bomb of a fragrance. Yeah, I'll probably have this bottle for the rest of my life only because I don't have to overspray with it. In fact, I just wore this one the other week and I forget just how amazing these perfumes are and how well they perform. If you like Alien and you don't have a pre-L'Oreal bottle in your life, you should definitely get one before they get way out of hand pricey. If any of you do have a new bottle, if you have picked up a bottle since L'Oreal took them over, I would love to know what it's like. I've heard people say that it's not the same, but I would love to hear any feedback from you guys if you have any experience with it. But anyways, that is the original Alien from Mugler. And then last but not least is Lolita Lempicka. Just the original Lolita Lempicka. This thing is a bomb. This is one that you can put on, again, 2 or 3 sprays and you're gonna smell like this for 12 plus hours. It is such a nuclear fragrance. I love this one. This is like licorice and patchouli. It's such a nostalgic fragrance for me. I wore this. I picked up a bottle of this from TJ Maxx. It was after, because I remember when this came out in Sephora and it was so expensive and I just felt like the bottle was so stunning. I thought the bottle was just like so whimsical and like a fairy tale and I just thought it was gorgeous. But I could never afford a bottle of it because it was very expensive when it first came out. But then it ended up showing up in TJ Maxx like a few years later. And I remember feeling like I had gotten such a treasure when I found a little 1 ounce bottle of it in TJ Maxx. And I've had a bottle of it in my collection ever since because I love it. It is a beautiful licorice and patchouli. It's got some flowers in it. It's got some greens in it. It's just a beautiful fragrance. And thankfully to this day, this isn't like it's not a new bottle, but it's not a super old bottle either. It's like somewhere in between. I probably got it, I don't know, post 2012. And it still performs amazingly well. So again, if any of you out there have a new bottle of this, I have bought some new bottles of flankers. They've all performed really, really well. So I have a feeling like even a new bottle of this would perform really great. But anyways, that is Lolita Lempicka, just the original. This is the EDP formulation. And that is gonna be it, guys. Those are some of the most long-lasting designer fragrances that I've got in my collection. I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.